Hello folks, and welcome back to F122 Driver Career Mode. Season 3 we're in right now, and today we're off to the British Grand Prix. And if you haven't seen Canada, which was the last race, that was a bit of a roller coaster, shall we say. You should go check that one out if you haven't seen it already. But moving on to today's race, our home race, going to be hoping for a win, of course, always hoping for a win, especially in this car. But let's see what we can do. Lando Norris is absolutely dominating the championship at the moment with 127 points after just 5 rounds. That's incredible. George Russell, 1 point ahead of us after Canada, sat in P2, and of course ourselves in P3. So the top 3, all British drivers. That's quite something for the championship. Here it is then, a DNF for us in Canada. As you can see, we've had 1 single win so far out of the 5 races. We're probably expecting a bit more, getting used to the new car, getting our skills back up to scratch after the championship win and the little break, but yeah, there's not really much of an excuse, is there? So let's head to the track and let's do qualifying for the British Grand Prix. It's looking a bit overcast here, and we're on our first flying lap, currently in the back of the grid because we haven't actually set a time yet, so we'll see what we can do as we head through Village and as we head to the back end of the lap. Green sectors, no purple, so we're not setting the world alight just yet, but hopefully we can find that pace that we need as we head across the line in Q1 for a P3, 3/10 off pole position. We did decide to stay out on the same set of tyres. We did a cool down lap, recharge the battery, and we go again, and we're 2/10 up. We did set a purple sector 1 and a purple sector 2, so as I said, we weren't setting the world alight in the first lap. We seem to have found our feet a little bit, and as we come through the final corner, 4/10 up, across the line and up into first position by 3/10. Happy days. So first position in Q1, very, very comfortable. Lando Norris in P2 and George Russell in P3, and all British top 3 again. Daniel Ricciardo down in P4, not very much gap between us, and we lose Schumacher, Stroll, Schwartzman, Joe and Latifi. Into Q2 we go. Since the most recent, or one of the most recent updates where the tyre allocation changed, we tend to leave it until everybody else has gone out and set a lap, and then we go out, set a lap. If we've got time, we do a cool down, and then we go from there. We did set a purple sector 2, although it doesn't show in the top right, so we're obviously going quick, which is always nice as we come through the final few corners into sector 3. What's this going to be? Is it going to be good enough to get us out of Q2 with a single lap? I hope so. Taking a little bit of the sausage curb there. And across the line for P3. Only 2/10 off Norris, so it's pace to find, but we're comfortably into Q3 then. And Lando Norris tops that session. Only 2 100ths away is Carlos Sainz. And ourselves in P3. We lose Oscar Piastri, Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Yuki Tsunoda and Alex Albon. Piastri getting knocked out there is a little bit of a surprise in the Renault. George is really outperforming in this season so far, but we'll see how that unfolds. It is his first season in Formula 1, so could be forgiven. Anyway, on to Q3. Everybody's out on the track at the same time as us. We haven't decided to wait until the end like I just said. We decided to get out there early, set a lap, and then if we need to, maybe set a second, but maybe won't need to. The AI don't seem to improve too much on their second laps given the tyres, so we'll see what happens as we come round to finish this flyer. What's it going to be? P2 so far, but I don't think Norris has set a time yet. It looks like that's him coming around the final corner, and towards the end of the session, all the way down in P9, so we are going for a second lap. 3/10 up currently, first sector. Purple, always nice to see, and we might just get a bit of a tow from that McLaren, but he's going to get out of the way, so no tow for us down the Wellington Straight, unfortunately, as we go through Maggots and Beckett's. 5/10 gained so far on our personal best for this session. Is it going to be enough, though, for a pole position? We've got 2 purple sectors so far as we come through the last corner. 8/10 gained so far. It's going to be nearly a second by the time we cross the line, and across the line we go. And that is a provisional pole position. It might even be pole position. It looks like everybody else has already done their laps. So there we go. Pole position and a front row lockout from Mercedes. We take those. Charles Leclerc in P3 and Lando Norris all the way down in P6. Interesting. Kevin Magnussen in P10 after getting through to Q3. That was an interesting one for him.
Great Britain then, one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every year of the Formula One World Championship. And that record extends further for today's Grand Prix. The 3.6-mile-long Silverstone circuit is one of the longest of the season, with 18 corners in the current layout. With average lap speeds reaching around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the quickest tracks of the year. Watch out for cars taking the right-handers of Abbey and of Copse flat out. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. A fantastic effort from Pierre Gasly yesterday puts him on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Russell, Lando Norris and Ocon, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Oscar Piastri and Marshall. They've taken a grid penalty.
Okay, so our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some loading to the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of this lap.
So we have taken a grid penalty, which I must have taken earlier in the weekend, because I don't know why I would throw away a pole position, especially in the home race, but something was obviously looking a bit worn out. So we have taken a component of some degree. We've only got 10 places.
Parking. Let's try and get a good launch as the lights go out.
So yeah, P10 for us. And we're going to have to make up some places as we wait for the 5 red lights. Pierre Gasly on pole position, and the lights are out, and we are racing in Great Britain. Good start for Pierre Gasly. He's actually stormed away from Leclerc in P1, so that's a really good start for our teammate. We've not had the best start. You can see we completely missed the gear changes there, went back down into 6th when we wanted 7th. It was just a whole mess. We've gone back into P12, made up that position, and looks like we're back to where we started, into P10. Perez and Verstappen just behind us. But what can we do here then? We're desperately going to be wanting to make up places. We want to win this race, let's face it. We need to start scoring some really big points as we go round the outside of Kevin Magnussen. Can we make it stick? The AlphaTauri's not that quick, so I would imagine we can. And we do so as we now chase after Oscar Piastri, who is right on the gearbox of Daniel Ricciardo there, into Copse for the very first time. We've gone very, very wide. Wow, completely off the track. I'm surprised we didn't get a warning for that, actually. I guess we didn't really gain any time, but yeah, not ideal. We need to tidy that up if we're going to have any chance of winning this race. But here's Esteban Ocon, here's Oscar Piastri and Daniel Ricciardo. Like I said, he's right on the gearbox through Copse, and he's still there as we come out of Magnussen Beckett's, and he's going to go for it round the outside. Can he make this work? He's on soft tyres as well, so maybe he can, but he hasn't done that. And Ricciardo stays ahead on those mediums. And Ocon and Lando Norris just ahead. Surprised to see Lando not at the front, honestly. He didn't qualify super well for where he has been. And so he's all the way down in P5. I reckon if we can get ourselves together, we might have a very, very good chance here of a race when we're going fastest through Sector 1. And look at the speed we have out of there compared to Piastri. And he's on the way better tyre. There's no way it's gone off just yet. And we're just going to sail around the outside. But he's still there. And he's giving us a real fight here. He doesn't want to give up that position, does he? But he's going to have to. We're in the quicker car. We're through. And now we get to chase after Daniel Ricciardo, who's chasing down Ocon in his Ferrari. The slipstream round here is just sensational. I mean, look how quickly we've caught up to him. We're going to have a little look here. But he's decided he's going down the inside on Ocon, so it hasn't quite worked out, but we're going to have a look. But Ocon's fighting him back. We're just going to have to be patient. We might get him into Village. I reckon that's probably our best bet. But Piastri is ready to pounce as well. He's right there, just 2 tenths behind us. Very, very close. It's like a 4-way battle going on here for P6 at the moment. Down the inside we go on Esteban Ocon. And that's another place gained. Up into P7. Ricciardo's next. I reckon it's only a matter of time before we can get him. Norris isn't running away like he usually does. I guess he's being held up by that train. which starts with Pierre Gasly all the way in the lead. Yeah, there's a big train. You can see it on the right-hand side there. And Norris is at the back of it. That's ideal because it means we might be able to get past him and then cut through that train. We're going to have a go at Daniel Ricciardo first, though. To the outside we go into Cops. We're going to go side by side potentially, but we've got past him just before, and we're going to give him space just in case we're off the track. We might have to give that back. We lift. We have to give the place back because we went off track to get it. And unfortunately, we didn't make that one stick. But having given the place back means we get DRS down the Wellington Straight. Very messy through there with heavy fuel. It's very difficult for me to get it done, but there it is. DRS, bit of ERS as well, and we're past him, up into P6. Russell up next. Norris has got past one of them. I would imagine lap 7.
Pulling out a second a lap of the car behind. Really
we just set fastest lap. Lap 7, the softs are definitely starting to fall off now. The tyre wear around this track is pretty high, so the softs won't last very long at all. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them pitting at maybe lap 8, lap 9, because yeah, this is not going to last. But the mediums are pretty good, and we're going to get the DRS. He's also got DRS, but we're going to go down the inside. And well, it's not done yet. We're going to have to chase him. No, we can stick. Yeah, he's still ahead. But we're going to stick by his side on the way down into Cops, and we're just going to give him a little squeeze. Give him a little squeeze there, and we're ahead. Up into P5. Lando Norris, our championship rival, is up next in the McLaren on the same tyre as us. I think everybody from here upwards is on the medium tyre, so it's going to be a little more difficult to overtake them, but I reckon we can do it. Pierre's holding everybody. He's holding the lead, so obviously the car is quick enough, and if he can keep doing that, while the two guys in front of us, Sainz and Norris, are having a little battle, that's going to let us get a bit closer and make the overtake sooner. So we'll take that. Just look at the train. Look at the train from the lead backwards. They're just attached to each other's gearboxes. Not going to be doing much good for their tyres, and will definitely play into our favour as we move on to lap 8. It has done, and we've already caught Norris. We're going to deploy a ton of the battery, open the DRS, and see if we can go down the inside. Can we go down the inside? Just about.
Okay, good work.
Probably compromised our exit there, but the two at the front, in fact, Gasly's lost the lead to Leclerc. But Gasly's on soft tyres. That's probably why he's going to be struggling at this stage of the race. That was a bit of a move, bit of a wobble for us on the exit of that corner. But here we go. Leclerc is having a go at Sainz, who's in. Well, Leclerc had inherited the lead, and Sainz has just taken it. I'm all over the place today. There's too much going on here. Gasly's pitted off the soft, so he's all the way down the field now, and I would imagine he's gone on to hard tyres. But moving on to lap 11, we are primed to take the position from Charles Leclerc in the Red Bull. We go round the outside, as we have done a few times now. Into Cops we go, taking the racing line this time, and we're going to keep that position. But he will get DRS down the Wellington Straight. Thankfully for us, on lap 12,
okay, you sat in P2.
He's
okay, Sainz is ahead of you. Okay,
we're just so distracted here by trying to figure out what's going on with the race.
Leclerc is behind you. They're on old mediums. Okay, your pit window opens next lap. Right, 15 laps still remaining.
Basically just stopped on the corner there because we were so distracted trying to use the MFD. So Leclerc said, "Thank you very much. I'm going to take second place back," and he has done. However, with the straight line speed we've been showing, see, we're backing off here because we want the DRS. We don't want to be pulling any moves into this section of corners, but we'll take the DRS and we should be able to get back past him. Lap 12 of 26, we're probably looking to pit around closer to lap 20, I would say, because we probably want to go softs from here. So we haven't quite got... Whoa, hello! Lando Norris has just stuck his nose in there and probably damaged his wing after that. Let's have a look. Here's what he did. So he sort of half-heartedly went for it and then just planted the throttle. He didn't even hit us. It felt like he hit us. And I moved out the way to sort of counter it, but he actually didn't make contact with us. So that was a weird one. It really felt like he did. Anyway, back to our POV, and we're going to overtake Leclerc. Thank you very much. Into Cops, easy peasy. Got tons of battery to use because we've been saving it for a couple of laps. And on lap 17, from the lead because Sainz pitted.
Stop to go, just one
We're
stop
in.
left in this strategy.
Soft tyres now against Sainz on the hards. I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue, to be honest. If we can get them warmed up, of course. They're stone cold at the moment. Not very grippy, but we'll get them up to temp. Doesn't take very long around this track because there's tons of high-speed corners. And well, here we go. On the lap 19, thinking about it, thinking against it. I reckon it's probably best if we hold back until the Wellington straight and then just go for it. Get with DRS, get the move done nice and cleanly, but we're not going to wait. We're going to go for it around the outside on the way into Cops, and I think this might be us into the lead. But we didn't quite commit into Cops, did we? We had to get out the power just a bit too much, and we're going to have a look into Maggots and Beckett's. No, we're not. That's not a smart move. We saw what happened here last season with Max Verstappen making a move into that complex of corners. Absolutely demolished our side pod.
Let's use overtake.
Anyway, on to lap 20. Can we go for it again? I reckon so. Dummy him to the inside, make him defend, go to the outside, back on the racing line. Or sort of, as we need to leave him enough room. He's still there. Those hard tyres are doing very well on that Ferrari, I have to say. And these softs, at the moment they're good, but they won't last super well. They will fall off a bit towards the end, so we need to get this move done and just build a gap while we can. Down the inside into Cops is definitely the better line to have. And we do get up into the lead of this race with 6 laps to go. Can we hold on to it though? That's the real question. Sainz is going to have DRS here, and he's only a 10th behind us as it is, so it's going to be very, very close as we head into the dying laps of this race, but we've got lots of battery to use, and we have held him off. On to lap 21, you can see our tyres have seen better days, and here comes Carlos Sainz. Which way is he going? Left or right? He's going to go down the inside. And we sort of didn't really fight that, to be honest. Got off track a bit there again. It was so messy, this race. Didn't really fight that too hard because I'm thinking if I have to fight this every single lap, I've got no chance. So we're going to tuck in behind him. Maybe we'll have a go, but maybe it's smart just to wait until the final lap, maybe the penultimate lap, and then go from there. We'll see. Sticking nice and close to his rear wing. We've got a good 1.5 seconds gap to Gasly, so nothing really to worry about there. I think we just have to play the smart game here, to be honest. Only 4 laps to go, bit of DRS. Smart game's out the window. What am I talking about? We're going to go around the outside, cut him off the inside, and we're back up into the lead. But we got a terrible exit because we went sort of defensive on the inside. Still in the lead though, and maybe we're just playing a bit of DRS chicken here. We're just like letting him swap into the lead and back out of the lead. On to the last lap though. He's completely fallen off, 3 seconds behind, and here's Lando Norris going for a move into P4, and George Russell down the inside, and he's through on the very last lap. What a move. That was a great move, and we're going to win the British Grand Prix. It's about time we got another win, honestly.
Absolutely
Very, very satisfying.
That is a brilliant result. Well done.
I think the strategy played a big part there, to be honest. A lot of the AI were going medium hards or soft to hards. Medium soft was the one.
Plenty of action here at Silverstone, a memorable race and an impressive victory. What do you think it was today, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition?
I think we'll chalk this one up to a deft touch on the brake pedal. That's allowed them to challenge down the inside into the braking zones, and ultimately, if you do that often enough, you end up winning the race. It was great to watch as well though, wasn't it? Forget strategy, forget tyre management. Who doesn't love a good old-fashioned scrap?
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
We did it. We got a win, and not only did we get a win, we got a win at home, our home Grand Prix. Pierre Gasly should have taken that win, to be honest. He started on pole, stormed away with the lead, held everybody up. I mean, maybe his tyres just fell off too soon and he just didn't have the pace, but at least he's on the podium. Very, very good points for the team. A very, very satisfying win for us, especially from P10 on the grid after taking a penalty. And Sainz there as well for Ferrari in P2. Here's the result then. Fastest lap for us as well, so a nice 26 points. Lando only picks up 12 here, so we could bring down that deficit just a little bit. And George Russell there with only 10 points, who's just above us. So we will take back our second place in the championship. As you can see, 53 points the deficit to Lando Norris now, and Carlos Sainz jumps up to P3. So all in all, very good race weekend. 59 points is the deficit from ourselves to McLaren in the constructors. Next time out, Austria. It's always a good race at Austria, and I'm sure that this season's going to be no different. You get the sprint race, so you get qualifying on a Friday, sprint on a Saturday, race on the Sunday. Join me for that one. If you like this video, leave us a little like, drop us a comment below, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you for Austria. Bye.